Centuries ago, it may have been possible to ignore science and the conclusions it reached. Much of science was based upon speculation and Greek philosophy, which seemed to have little bearing on everyday life. In fact, centuries ago, most scientific theory never reached the ears of the average man and woman. But now all of that has changed. Science has become the religion of modern man. It has its own edicts, its own canon, sacraments, and priesthood. The classroom, the government schools or public schools and universities have become the temple. Books by Darwin and Hawking have become the catechisms. The sacrament, total submission. And with their willing accomplices in the media, this new faith can declare any truth, excommunicate former members, or declare opposing views heretical with almost full immunity. Its successes are so exceptional that it is usually accorded the last word in all disputes by simply uttering those seemingly irrefutable words, scientific fact. From every corner of so-called civilized society, science receives its praise and respect by reason of nuclear energy, advances in medicine, and cell phones. Most believe that the methods which have produced these wonderful products of civilization are capable of answering every single question put to man. Not only the how, but even the why. Science has been immortalized in the movies, but especially the television series Star Trek, in which mankind, given enough time in applying the scientific method, can eventually do away with war, poverty, sickness, greed, envy, and a host of other societal sins, with everyone throwing their hat in the ring to help, a kind of utilitarian utopia, the common struggle being the general equity and the common good of all. However, we are told that in order to achieve this egalitarian goal, we must give up the fairy tales of the past, primarily meaning Christianity. Ironically, though, modern science was based upon the presupposition that God is there and He is not silent. Nevertheless, the call goes forth that we must give up the bedrock upon which science, modern science that is, was built, in favor of a scientific method that supposedly uncovers the real facts and is able to obtain indisputable truth. Non-Christians, for the most part, and all too many Christians, are of the opinion that science, meaning the physical or natural sciences, are an ever-growing body of truth about how and why the universe is, and how and why it works. We are told that the progress of science, its discoveries, and technological triumphs demonstrate its place of honor and the status of final arbiter of all truth. Science is seemingly unassailable. After all, it works, doesn't it? And as we all know, success is the ultimate standard of truth. I'm saying that tongue-in-cheek. This being the case, so it goes, when the Bible and science appear to be at odds, we need to reinterpret the Bible. For example, since science tells us that evolution, be it rank naturalism or theistic evolution, is a dead certain fact and not just a theory, we need then to take a fresh look at Genesis chapter 1 and interpret it within the framework of a naturalistic worldview. No longer can we assert with the Westminster Shorter Catechism, question 9, that the work of creation is God's making all things of nothing by the word of His power in the space of 6 days, and all very good. The belief in an actual 6-day creation, we are told, is a joke. And anyone holding to this view needs to re-examine their methodology, their hermeneutic, or in the very least, have their head examined. To speak against this sort of scientific thinking is almost blasphemous in some circles, because for many, science is the God of this age. However, science has also shown itself to be a very poor God. Every philosopher of science, as well as any first semester logic student, knows the scientific method is predicated upon induction. And hear me on this. Induction is always a fallacy of logic. Induction can never ultimately prove anything. Therefore, the scientific method can never, ever discover truth. Now, my friends, I wish I could spend more time explaining why, but we simply do not have the time. However, if you want to learn more and have your government education turned upside down, allow me to recommend this work by Gordon H. Clark, The Philosophy of Science and Belief in God. It is an eye-opener to say the least. I'm also going to be attempting to work on a video series by the same title as this video, Scientific Megalomania. Please check our website periodically, NiceneCouncil.com, to see if this video is released. You can also find the book by Gordon Clark, The Philosophy of Science and Belief in God, at that website, www.NiceneCouncil.com. Until next week, this is Jerry Johnson, standing contra mundum against the world.